Greetings, Guardians. My name is Bife here. So begins the long wait. The seasonal story for the Season of the Lost has reached its midpoint, and we have gotten to that moment at which we're going to be winding down until we're ready to end the season. In the meantime, though, we've seen some rather important moments this week. The Coven of Techians that Mara needs to excise Savathun's worm has been assembled. Crow is still nowhere to be found, and for the moment, Savathun has been silenced as of the end of this week's story. Let's go ahead and talk about how we got to that point, starting with our first communication from Mara Sov this week, where she tells us that our investigation is beginning to draw to a close.
When I first saw Crow, I looked into his mind. I did not see my brother's memories. Savathun dredged them from a place beyond my grasp when she revealed his past life to him. She suspects I do not mean to let her live once the separation ritual is complete, and is testing our patience. Perhaps she means only to hurt me. The risk of her cunning is too great, no matter her intentions. Until the conditions are right for us to exorcise her worm, I am restricting all access to Savathun. I will, however, afford you one last meeting to conclude your investigations before I seal her away. Steel your mind when you face her, Guardian. The Witch Queen is no less dangerous now than she has ever been. We have one last Techian to locate. Go forth.
Mara intends to silence the Witch Queen, and soon. The preparations for the ritual to exorcise Savathun's worm are nearly complete. And before such a moment occurs, and before Mara bars access to us, she will allow us but one final communication with the Witch Queen. However, in the meantime, we have been tasked with doing as we have done before, recovering that which is lost, the last of Mara's Tekkens. And so, as we've always done, we ventured forth into the ley lines and delved deep into the Shattered Realm so that we might be able to recover the seventh and final of the lost Tekkens. Upon her discovery, we got a message from Petra Venge, who spoke to us to express her gratitude for recovering the coven that she had formed to rescue her queen.
Preparations for Savathun's exorcism are underway, but the ritual can't begin without a cosmic alignment. It will take time. I want to express my gratitude for saving our new coven of Techians. They are young, with many years left to train. You've preserved their potential. Thank you. I tried to do the same for Crow, even if it pains my queen to see him leave. It's hard to imagine there's a safer place for him than at her side, but this is for the best. You saw what Savathun did to him. She could do more. Prince Uldren and I were friends once, you know. In our own strange way. I still think about him all the time. The sound of that gunshot. He's free now. To find his way between the stars. If only we could all be so lucky.
At last it was time. Time for the final conversation between us and the Witch Queen Savathun. At least until the day of the ritual. Her parting words to us threw doubt on Mara's intentions, and were a farewell of sorts to us. Savathun has indeed been watching us closely, and I feel as though she understands that our part to play in the future, no matter what that future ends up being, is still an important one. Take a listen.
I've been keeping tabs on you. Your victories against my sister. The mess you've made of the Ascendant Plane while you rescued your third-string witches. Delightful to see so many working towards a common goal, isn't it? I'm glad I can again be the catalyst that brings humanity and the reef together. It's a pity Mara Sov doesn't see it that way. Her face is a perfect porcelain mask. But look behind her eyes, and you can see the incandescent rage burning within. She's very upset with me. This will be our last talk until the day of the ritual, O Guardian mine. Now that Mara Sov's coven is assembled, the only thing left to do is to keep Xivu Arath from ruining things while the ley lines fall into position. This may take some time, but I have waited millennia to be free. I can hold out for just a little bit longer. Farewell. For now.
Savathun's words here yet again include the "O Guardian Mine" phrasing, which implies all that it's always implied. The potential for her to be manipulating us even down to the last second is entirely there. Even in these final moments, we should not underestimate her. Upon returning through the portal back into the helm, we are also able to see Mara's last communication with us on the matter. Her final words to us imply that once the ritual is complete, she intends to make Savathun pay for what she did to Crow, and more importantly, she is ready to take any chance to kill the Witch Queen when she is most vulnerable. She has, however, stated that she knows that the ritual will likely be attacked by Xivu-Arath's forces, and so, as her Techeuns perform the spell, she has requested Guardian support. Us and Saint 14 are bound to be at the ritual. Saint is likely to be there, ready to assault the Witch Queen and recover Osiris. Mara will be there, ready to destroy the one who has been contained within the chrysalis. And we will be there to seal the fate of the Witch Queen. However, between our final words with Mara and the ritual that will inevitably take place, there was one final moment where Mara Sov confronted the Witch Queen before silencing her. Here, two queens drew upon their words like blades and their magics like shields. It is here that Mara silenced the Witch Queen until such a time as the ritual could commence. And it is here once again that Savathun played her games. She is at play in this moment like no one else could be, toying with the emotions of an otherwise unbreakable queen, one who has always stood ready and prepared, but perhaps not prepared for the likes of Savathun. This conversation can be found in the Ripple's Lawbook, in the entry called Interpolation, and it reads as follows. I hate you. It's the first thing Mara says on reaching Savathun's crystalline prison. Her words lack heat, but echo through the cavernous chamber nonetheless. I want to be absolutely clear on this. I hate you, and I wish nothing but pain and suffering for the rest of your miserable existence. The crystal shimmers, and Savathun's gentle laughter ripples through Mara's mind. I know, the Witch Queen murmurs. I could have jettisoned you into the sun, Mara says coolly, but unlike some creatures, I uphold my word when I give it. But we're the same creature, are we not? Savathun wonders. Although Mara can't see her smile, she has no difficulty imagining what it looks like. I am nothing like you. No, of course not. Savathun's voice is easy and languid. Some might mistake her for being sincere. Mara has taken the same tone too many times in her own life to not recognize it for what it is. I thought you were a powerful, competent woman, plagued by a difficult relationship with her family, Savathun says. Someone who weaves complicated, long-spun schemes across the arc of time's bow. My mistake. Mara stares at the crystal, clenches her jaw, and turns her back to leave. But before she can take even one step toward the door, she feels Savathun's consciousness brush like silk against hers. I thought you were someone who believes herself to be so smart, Savathun purrs, that she is blinded by her own ambitions and self-appointed genius. Someone who is so certain of her solutions that she fails to see the inherent perils in her plan, and yet too embarrassed to ever admit that she may have gone astray. Tension knots the muscles in Mara's shoulders and back. Over the years, she has trained her face to remain a mask, but she is not always as skilled when it comes to the rest of her body. Savathun continues, I thought you were someone so afraid of being vulnerable that you'd rather fail than enough. Mara rounds on Savathun's prison with the precision of an angry viper. She does not raise her voice. Instead, she lowers it. That might work on him, she says, the last word like fire on her lips because it pains her to refer to Crow by any name. But you'll find my armor has fewer gaps. Power surges around her hands, and she slams them against the crystalline surface. A lattice of radiant energy winds itself around Savathun's prison, and Mara hopes that the furious drumming of her heart and intermittent flare of her nostrils will be mistaken for exertion and not a different kind of weakness. When the spell is complete, Mara steps back, her glowing eyes dim. She wavers with fatigue, listening for the psychic echo of Savathun's voice inside her skull. There is only silence. Shut up, Mara breathes, a strange marriage of relief and loathing. Shut up. And so the Season of the Lost rests for the time being. Savathun has been silenced. The coven of Techeuns that were lost has now been recovered, and we need to keep the ley lines open in preparation for their alignment and the ritual's enactment. Our story, for the moment, ends here. But there are still questions to be answered. Why was Mara's coven lost in the first place? Who were they, and how did they come to be? Is there anything else we can learn this season? All of these questions and more will be answered in time, you have my word on that. But for now, I want to let you all know that this certainly doesn't mean we're on hiatus. We've got plenty of content coming for you over the next months and weeks. We've got lots to talk about, and I can't wait to share it all with you. In particular, in the next few weeks, we'll be rounding out the Season of the Lost seasonal content. That's going to include things like who are the Lost? Spoiler alert, it's the Techeuns, but the Techeuns themselves actually have a very interesting story. It involves Petra, Mara, and of course, the strange secret ways of the Awoken. We're going to go into that, and we're going to get a whole lot more detail on things coming forward. Of course, we have other series that we're going to be covering, and we're going to be going back to cover things that I missed in the lore of Forsaken, which is very relevant this season because of the Awoken theme, and also stuff that I missed from Beyond Light because that was a point at which I burned out, and yeah, I was waiting for my wife to immigrate over to the UK. She's here now, and we're all lovely and whatnot, but it just meant that I had big sad boy hours during Beyond Light and wasn't making too much content until she arrived. Either way, point is, you know, we're going to be getting a lot of content done, and I'll be catching up on anything I've missed, because we have a lot of time to speak about things. For now, though, let me know what you think of Savathun's conversation with Mara. Were her words laced with more meaning than first appears, or was this just another very effective attempt by the Witch Queen to put someone off balance? I'm intrigued to know what you all think. If you enjoyed the video, of course, you can also leave a like, and if you want more Destiny content, go ahead and hit subscribe and the bell next to subscribe to turn on those email notifications. But as per usual, know that your viewership is quite enough for me, and that in the meantime, my name is Byf. Rhodacia ad Astra. I'll see you, Starside.